Welcome to my YouTube channel. As there are so many animals and plants in the nature, man should have always a love towards them, love and affection towards them. So such a matter is involved in our chapter, The Adventures of Toto. Let us watch them. Ruskin Bond was born on 19th May 1934. He is an Indian author of British descent. He lives with his adopted family in Lander, Missouri, India. The Indian Council for Child Education has recognized his role in the growth of children's literature in India. He was awarded the Sahitya Akademi Award in 1992 for Our Trees Still Grow in Dera, his novel in English. He was awarded the Padma Shri in 1999 and the Padma Bhushan in 2014. The Adventures of Toto is written by Ruskin Bond. This is a very humorous and adventurous story of a naughty monkey named Toto. The writer's grandfather bought the monkey from a Tonga driver. The pranks played by Toto have been narrated in an interesting way to make the story a must read for us. Grandfather bought Toto from a Tonga driver for the sum of 5 rupees. The Tonga driver used to keep the little red monkey tied to a feeding trough, and the monkey looked so out of place there that grandfather decided he would add the little fellow to his private zoo. The writer's grandfather purchased a monkey named Toto from a Tonga driver by paying 5 rupees to him. That is already stated. And Toto was a very pretty monkey. His bright eyes sparkled with mischief beneath the deep-set eyebrows, and his teeth, which were a pearly white, were very often displayed in a smile that frightened the life out of elderly Anglo-Indian ladies. But his hands looked dried up as though they had been pickled in the sun for many years. Yet his fingers were quick and wicked, and his tail, while adding to his good looks, that his grandfather believed a tail would add to anyone's good looks, also served as a third hand. He could use it to hang from a branch, and it was capable of scooping up and delicacy that might be out of reach of his hands. Grandmother, always fussed with grandfather, brought home some new bird or animal, so it was decided that Toto's presence should be kept a secret from her until she was in a particularly good mood. Grandfather and I put him away in a little closet opening to my bedroom wall. There he was tied securely, or so we thought, to a peg fastened into the wall. The writer and his grandfather went to Toto after a few hours. The sight was shocking. Toto had torn the decorative wallpaper. He had broken the hook and had escaped from his binding. Also, he tore the writer's blazer into thin pieces. The grandfather was quite delighted to see Toto's adventure. He felt that Toto was very clever. He said that if they would have given him more time, he would have tied the thin pieces of the writer's torn blazer into a rope and would have escaped out of the window. Toto was shifted to the servant quarter. He was put in a cage. He would live with the other pets in grandfather's zoo. The zoo comprised of a tortoise, a pair of rabbits, a squirrel, and the writer's pet goat. Toto was very mischievous. He did not let the animals sleep at night. The writer's grandfather had to leave for Sharanpur the next day. He decided to take Toto along as he was unmanageable. The writer was disappointed as he could not accompany his grandfather and Toto on the trip. His grandfather narrated the happenings of the trip to him later. He had got a special bag for Toto. It was made of a strong material, that is canvas. He placed some dry grass at the bottom of the bag. On the trip, The bag would be Toto's home as he would live in it. The bag had a zipper on top of it. The writer's grandfather ensured that when the bag was closed, Toto would not be able to escape out of it. Neither could he come out of the opening, as it was closed with a zipper, nor could it bite the strong canvas material in order to run away. Still, Toto made unsuccessful attempts to come out of the bag. Due to this, many times the bag would roll on the floor, or it would certainly jump in the air. These movements were noticed by the people the railway platform, and made them curious to know what was inside the bag. A mechanical gate. The turnstile was a mechanical gate consisting of revolving horizontal arms with to a vertical post. The ticket collector was astonished to see a monkey in grandfather's bag. He recovered quickly and asked grandfather to pay the ticket money for traveling with the dog. So that is, Toto remained secured in grandfather's bag till Saharanpur. At the Saharanpur railway station, the writer's grandfather was taking out of his ticket to cross the turnstile. At that time, Toto peeked out of the bag and smiled at the ticket collector. Grandfather was unsuccessful in explaining to the ticket collector that Toto was a monkey and not a dog. He insisted that Toto was not even an animal with 4 feet. But the ticket collector was firm that Toto fell in the category of dogs. Grandfather had to pay 3 rupees for Toto's ticket. Grandfather was very much disappointed, and in order to take revenge from the ticket collector, he took out of the pet tortoise from his pockets. He asked if he was supposed to buy a ticket for it too. The ticket collector took a close look at the tortoise, pushed it slightly, and announced that grandfather was not required to buy a ticket for it, as it did not fall in the category of a dog. The writer's grandmother finally came to know of Toto's presence in the house. She allotted him space in the stable along with the family donkey Nana. On the first night in the stable, grandfather visited Toto. He found Nana restless, pulling his rope in order to stay away from the heap of hay. Grandfather hit Nana on the back in order to stop it. Nana jumped back with a jerk, and Toto was dragged along with her. In the winter season, Toto enjoyed having a warm bath. He would pretend to be selfish, and before starting his bath, he would check the temperature of the water. He would copy the writer and stepped into the tub 1 foot at a time. Finally, he would sit in the water and his face out of it. Then he would rub himself with soap. When the water became cold, he would run out of it to the stove of the kitchen in order to dry himself. Toto got annoyed if he was laughed upon. He would get hurt and then refused to take bath. The writer recollects an incident when Toto had almost boiled himself. In a large kettle, water was boiling on the stove. Toto climbed up to the stove and removed the lid from it. He felt that the water was warm enough for him to take a bath. He entered the kettle with his head out of it. When the water started boiling, it became hot for Toto. He thought of coming out of the kettle, but as the temperature outside was cold for him, he stayed in it. Toto kept on jumping in the kettle for a while. It was when the writer's grandmother arrived that she took the half-boiled monkey out of the kettle. If there is a part in our brain that governs our ability to create mischief, then that part in Toto's brain was highly developed, as he had great capacity to do mischief. He was always busy doing mischief. Whenever the writer's aunts passed him, he tried to tear their dresses. The writer recollects another incident from Toto created a lot of mischief. At lunchtime, a dish of rice was placed on the dining table. When the family reached to eat, they found Toto eating it. The writer's grandmother screamed at Toto, and in response, he threw a plate at her. When the aunts tried to catch Toto, he threw a glass of water in their face. When the grandfather arrived, Toto left the place through a window with a dish of rice along with him. Toto remained out the entire afternoon. He sat on a branch of the jackfruit tree, determined to eat all the rice. As the grandmother had screamed on him, he wanted to annoy her further, and so, after eating the rice, he threw the dish and finally it broke into several pieces. Then, finally, grandfather realized that Toto was not suitable to be kept at home. They could not afford the frequent losses that he gave him. He tore clothes, curtains, wallpapers, and broke dishes. So the grandfather sold Toto back to the same Tonga driver for a sum of only 3 rupees.